Good morning, everyone. I'm up, not watching Saturday morning cartoons. I feel like a cartoon though. I think that counts. I'll be eating cereal later on tonight in my normal Twitch time, but in the mornings on the weekend, like one of those mornings, I wanted to take some time to talk with somebody, anybody really, that was in my orbit, someone that I may have connected with since becoming a lot more familiar with 3D printing and making in general. And so today I asked the slightly older now Fixumdude. He just had a birthday. What was it? 2 days ago. What the hashtag is Fixumday. If you want to check out the hashtag to see what everybody had shared. I had a make that I shared, but it failed. Like I needed to effectively unclog a nozzle. It seems that one of the spools of filament I had was causing the same spool that caused the same problem a few weeks ago caused it again. So I'm pretty much not going to be using that filament anymore. That's just the way it goes. I met Fixumdude, I want to say by way of Krusty. How did we meet? Can you remember?
Trying to remember. I think it was someone tagged you on the giant TIE fighter when Joel sent it to me and I posted it on Twitter. And then I think that's kind of, and then I started following you and then started checking out your Twitch stream.
And then it was all uphill from there.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's an uphill battle. So you, how surprised were you with the model, Bugman's model? This what was it? Thursday?
Yes, Thursday was the day.
The day, Fixum day. How surprised were you?
Yeah. Oh, I was completely surprised. Like, because I had Liz, the detective, figured out when my birthday was, even though I never told anyone. And then I said, hey, just keep it on the down low, you know. And then I wake up and there's like 300 notifications on my Twitter feed, and I'm like, uh-oh, something's going on.
Yeah, not a bad thing. You never want to have 300 notifications on your Twitter feed you don't want to be, okay, this is what I've learned. Every day, there is a person on the internet, and you got to do your best not to be that person. Like, because that's the person everybody talks about. So you were a good person of the day.
Right, it was just phenomenal when I started. I was like, and then to see that Bugman did it, that was just really cool. He's been an idol of mine since I got into 3D printing.
Wow, did he know that?
I've told him before that he's a big inspiration for me learning how to model and stuff.
Wow. You know, I think I crossed Bugman's path. That was definitely by way of Krusty. I was curious about getting my my face frozen in carbonite, like a carbonite crisp Pirillo, and so I think Bugman did that. Turned it around pretty quickly. This is early on. And of course I stay active and see him posting things on Twitter intermittently, and sometimes on Twitch. Sometimes, not all the times on Twitch.
Yeah, he needs to stream more.
Yeah, that's what I say. Honestly, you know, here's the thing: the more people who do it, like the more attention that's there. It's a bigger win for everybody, in my opinion, right? Because, you know, instead of just being one or two or maybe three people, suddenly you've got, you know, a groundswell of activity, right? So, I mean, I guess the same thing could be held true for models, right? Models that are put out there for people to print. Like, you know, one or two, okay, it's a little... But then, when it becomes a thing, like, and I think you've been a part of this thing that pulled me even further and further in. So thank you on behalf of everybody. I'm gonna speak for everybody right now. Fixumdude, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you very much. I still have, of course, the models that you sent for my birthday last year. You did you sent the monkey. Grogu didn't make it. You remember the little flexi monkey that you did? You printed it.
Sure.
Yeah. So Jedi loves the flexi monkey. And
cool.
yeah, I also have and I brought this out because I want to save it because you never know. I'm using my Fixumdude coaster, like an official, like the what is it? What material is this?
That's like a compressed paper.
Yeah, paper coaster. So I mean, everyone else, oh, you may have a printed coaster, but I have a paper. See, that to me makes it exclusive. It's the fact that it's paper. So I'm using that this morning, Fixumdude.
Oh, nice.
And we're gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
I have several. It's like I get all that stuff made, even though no one asks for it.
You just send it. Fun. You just send it to. No one asked for this. Here, take it. Is that what you do? Is that? You seem to be. Yeah. I can feel your energy coming over. Can you feel his intensity, everyone? The Fixumdude intensity. I'm not gonna wait for anybody to respond because unfortunately they can't hear us. But they are. A few people are tuned in this morning. Here we've got Big Jano, Pink 3DP recently got her handle changed. Of course, Fixumdude is also in chat. Oh, Fixumdude is there to mod. So if anybody gets out of line during this talk, Fixumdude's going to put the smack down. Hello, the Trek Nerd and Homemade Jam. Good morning. Revy2K, you as well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Well, Fixumdude, I mentioned this on Twitter in terms of telling people, hey, I'm going to be talking with you this morning. Woke up to a pretty nice stat for MakerDeck. We're currently at 73 of 75 average, and that's important as we want to be able to apply for partner. That's the one last hurdle. So Twitch measures it differently. So as long as in the next cycle it ratchets up, we're this close. 2 more people on average have to have tuned into MakerDeck and watch MakerDeck for us to be able to apply for partner. And so just 2 more. We're at 73 of 75. 73 of 75. Like, this close.
I know. I really want that MakerDeck logo emote.
I know. That's the thing. So Fixumdude, he basically made the graphics. Like, he made the for the emotes. And I can't remember. I think you asked if you could do it. I'm like, yeah, knock yourself out, or you just did it. I'm like, this is great. So thank you for making those emotes. The MakerDeck logo itself, I had generated. This is the reason why there's 2 red slivers on the MakerDeck logo. And I just say, paint it however you want to paint it, or color it however you want to color it. I generated that on a website. I just like, okay, this is kind of what I think I like the most. It's iconic. But what we discovered when Fixumdude, turned that into an emote is that Twitch will not let you upload a single letter emote if you're not partner. Like, they won't let you do it. So the only way to get the MakerDeck emote is, and there are other bonuses, like, hurdles drop, we'll be, we'll have a better level of support should something go wrong, etc. But the MakerDeck logo as an emote won't exist and up and until we're able to get partner, and we're just 2 people more on average watching. And so thank you everybody for tuning in to MakerDeck. It's been fun, and Fixumdude also watches. How good does it feel when you see one of your models being printed without anybody telling you that they're going to print it?
Oh, that's always fun. Like, I'm just still blown away that people even want to print that stuff. So it's really neat.
Are you kidding? I think it's wild. Like, I love it. I mean, especially because, I don't want to necessarily get big model kits for Jedi, but, like, printing out, like, and we haven't done it yet because she's not quite there. Printing out, like, the Millennium Falcon, for her, or the TIE Interceptor, or, any of those models, and then having her kind of basically go through the paces and put it together. So yeah, they're absolutely perfect. Those are perfect gifts. They're perfect models for kids, for neighborhood kids, for school kids. So yeah, I mean, don't be surprised. I mean, if it's Star Wars, I'm a fan. Absolutely. And so and by the way, Fixumdude also, talking about him in the third person, Fixumdude also went back and forth. Thank you for listening to all my feedback on my Maker coin. I wouldn't have been able to do this otherwise. The Imperial insignia on the back and the Vader logo on the front, the Chris Pirillo Vader logo. So I've got a coin thanks to Fixumdude. So yeah, thank you for that.
Oh yeah, we're fun.
No, I mean I had a blast, and then you did the coins, the Valentine's coins. Oh, it's fun. Like I'm telling you, it's great that you are so accommodating to feedback, and I appreciate that. Good morning to C. Travis. It is not 6 p.m. Pacific. These are special shows broadcasting in the morning. Big Jano is going to be releasing that widget he was showing off next week. Okay, he'd had the Maker Deck widget. That's nice. SI 3D Printing, aka Bear. Good morning. Carl Fenton. Hello. Rick Scheil. Awesome to see you as well. Joshua XP. Appreciate it, Joshua. Joshua must have been up early because I got up in the middle of the night, not for Maker Deck reasons, but I jumped in and I saw, oh, there's just 5 people streaming at the time, and so I put a print on, so I know Joshua was up and chatting, for sure. So can I ask a question? Fixumdude. Well, I'm going to ask a question. I'm not going to ask you if I can ask a question. How did you get into 3D printing?
I was trying to think back, but I think around 2016, I guess late 2015, early 2016, I stumbled upon this guy named Joel Telling. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, a little.
I started watching 3D printing nerd videos, and Angus from Maker's Muse and Chuck Hellebuck, and just really started getting into watching 3D printer videos. And then I started thinking, like, we really need to build one of these, and like we're trying to kind of get one at work on the down low. So I just started ordering random parts that I thought that we would need just after watching tons and tons of videos on YouTube. And it looked like I ordered my first parts in like February of 2016, and then I must have struggled with it that whole year and just could never figure it out. And then so I looked at my Amazon feed, and like October I'd ordered this I forget what it was called, but it was just a kit, like a little $300 kit. We were trying to keep it under the radar at work, so try to order like $20-30 worth of stuff at a time.
So you were doing the Shawshank Redemption version of
exactly.
breaking into jail. Okay.
Right. It was, we called it a solution in search of a problem. We didn't know what we'd do with it, but we knew we'd do something. So anyway, I put that kit together because it had really good instructions. It was just a cheap acrylic frame, i3 style. And finally got that working. So then I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So I took those other parts, those random parts and pieces home, and put those together. I think I posted a picture of that recently, just this clear acrylic frame monstrosity that we had scattered all over the kitchen table with, power supplies hanging out and wires everywhere. But that was kind of the beginning. So, like late 2017, early 2018, we really started getting into it, and the rest is history.
Yeah, but it's a pretty big leap. And I know people like Builder's Mark, I think every time, we haven't talked in eons, but like, he was always pushing me to like model, like get something done in modeling and stuff. It seems like I have one printer. I'm fine, single printer club here. It's a big leap though, going from one printer to modeling. So how did that leap happen for you?
Yeah, once like I said, we were kind of looking for a problem to solve. So once we got that kit printer going at work, then I started going around, I thought if we could find some way to make it useful before kind of people realized it was there, then, it would kind of be easier to beg forgiveness. So a lot of stuff is assembled by hand, and we manufacture parts and pieces. And so I talked to the guys in the back, and I knew some of their struggles to overcome some engineering changes that were made. That they were doing a lot of stuff by hand. So we just started making like templates and widgets and gauges that would help them assemble products a lot faster. And once they did that, we started calculating, okay, this printer's paid for itself, 5 times over already in the 5 seconds it saves on every one of these 2,000 parts we make each year and that kind of stuff. So we were already saving quite a bit of money with it before, the higher ups found out about, that was kind of in the back of my office. So after that, it was pretty well accepted. And now, they're bringing me parts for their travel trailers to, print out in ABS to, hook their safety chains on and stuff. So it's kind of accepted now as a thing that people can take advantage of at our office.
Wow. That sound to me that you've got to, do you own the movie rights for that? Because that sounds like someone, because come on, you come from, you cobble it together, you could get in trouble, the threat of getting in trouble, but then you build parts and then you become the office hero, basically. That's a movie. That's a movie right there. I'd watch.
If any producers want to contact me, they can go through Twitter or Twitch.
All right, any producers out there, the Fixumdude story. We can call it Extruded, the Fixumdude story. I don't know, maybe I'm workshopping that. Good morning, everyone, including Llama. How you doing? Rise of the podcast. Awesome to see you. And we also have a Mint. Now, Fixumdude, if you had anything you could say to Fotis Mint, what would it be?
I don't know what's left. I mean, I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but he's one of my big inspirations too. Just Fotis and Wexter and Bugman and Chelsea from Chaos Cortex. They're just some of the, and I'm always on the spot and can never remember.
No, it's okay.
All of them.
Yeah, that's the same. I have the same problem sometimes when it comes to listing mods. Like, guess what? All of them. Every one of them. And then, I forget one in the middle of the night. I sit up in a cold sweat. I'm like, crap, I missed Liz.
I know, and I was putting together that awesome collage of all the Fixumdude logos, and I forgot, Tom Llama's was a video, so it didn't show up when I was importing images into Illustrator, but his was hilarious. The Fixumdude.
Dude,
I literally laughed out loud when I saw that on the way to work on Thursday.
He modded that one in the Twitter back channel. It's honestly, there's probably a way, but there's got to be an easier way of managing when people have these birthdays, like within the modelers, right? The people within the 3D printing community. This seems to be the thing. Like if you're a modeler, you've done things, like people will make, someone will make a model and then everyone else prints it for the day. There's a hashtag. I've only done it like 2 or 3 times. That's the problem, is it's so manual that you have to create a new Twitter thread and make sure you don't invite the person's whose birthday it is, and inevitably someone gets left out, and it's never intentional. Right.
Oh, I understand. Builder's Mark's wife reached out, and it was a little time crunch, and I'm trying to add people, and I'm like, okay, who can get on this? And so I left out a ton of people, and I was like, everyone, invite whoever you think might want to print this, because everybody loves Builder's Mark. So but my brain just went blank.
Right.
Time to do that.
Well, 3D Printy, whose model I printed last night, it completed the Star Wars treasure chest. So it is done. Did this in the silver, partially overnight. So thank you, 3D Printy, for modifying. It turned out very well. He modified a little treasure chest box for Jedi to have fun with.
Nice.
He says, movie post-credit scene is 3D printing nerd recruiting Fixumdude for the equivalent of the Avengers. So Fixumdude is now, he was Nick Fury. Who would you be? Who's the superhero that you identify with most? Or do you?
I was a big Superman fan.
All right, Superman.
I know I'm a DC guy as a kid, so growing up, I was a huge fan.
I was Superman. DC. I didn't grow up with comics back in the 80s. I mean, grew up in the 70s, but 80s as well. When I was largely a child. No, I was still a small child. but I knew of like the Super Friends, right? Dun, dun, dun. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, like that's that was
love Super Friend.
my God, yes. The Wonder Twin powers activate. Shape
Except
of
for the Wonder Twin.
filament. Form of whatever. Glue stick, and they're together. They can fight the evils of failed prince. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along. But yeah, so you were more DC than Marvel.
As a kid, as I got older, and I kind of realized that the Marvels, I had a friend in grade school that was a big Marvel fan, and we'd argue back and forth, but he was right. His name's Tim, but in hindsight, the DC stories were a lot sillier.
Yeah.
Marvel was more, realistic and down to earth.
Oh,
so
man, that's funny. You remember that war. You remember that battle.
Right.
Man, knockdown, drag out fights. See, I didn't, Marvel wasn't really on my radar. I mean, apart from, I knew Spider-Man or of Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk. I knew Marvel characters, but it was the cartoon that I think pulled me more into DC. And then, yeah, as I got older, and specifically with the MCU flipped me. I'm like, okay, I am definitely Marvel. I'm Team Marvel, absolutely. But I still have a spot in my heart for. I have a soft spot on my head and a spot in my heart for DC.
Right. Yeah, Marvel's definitely done a better job of having a clearer vision and keeping it all together and pointed in the same direction than Warner Brothers have.
Good morning, Mad Cat USA and Subsector 3D, if I'm missing anybody who's just joined. And the Frayed Brush, nice to see you. Thank you for joining today. We're not really talking about anything in particular. We veered onto the topic of DC and Marvel just because it was inevitable. Because I finally saw the new Spider-Man this week. I finally saw it. Have you seen it?
Good.
Oh yeah. I was shocked. I mean, I've always enjoyed the MCU and the films and everything, but I think Spider-Man No Way Home, I feel, is going to be as much of one of my favorite MCU films ever. Certainly my favorite Spider-Man film. Absolutely. Like, it was just like you had to have watched all the previous Spider-Man films to get all everything. But I have a high degree of satisfaction with that Spider-Man film, that MCU film. It was fantastic.
It was good. I love that, and the Into the Spider-Verse was just blew me away with the art style and everything.
I enjoyed the Into the Spider-Verse art style. I guess the premise was good. It takes a lot for me to get into animation, more so than live action. I liked the premise. I liked the animation style. It was okay, but I wasn't me personally, I wasn't, for a Spider-Man thing, wasn't as happy with it. Not that you need to be. Entertainment's relative. It's not, this is not a pissing contest. Some people make it that way. I'm like, life's too short. But it was, I think what intrigued me the most about Spider-Man No Way Home was the idea of redemption, and redemption several times over. And I think we saw, these arcs that we never thought were even possible to see. And I think that it was done so differently. That path to redemption was done so well that there were like, it wasn't just like one payoff at the end. It was payoff after payoff after payoff after payoff. And
right.
That was, and it just like, bam, hits you in the feels, bam, hits you in the feels. So I think that's what had me reeling the most, in a good way, with Spider-Man No Way Home. Easily enjoyed it the most. Easily. More so than Avengers, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll say it's different. It's really neat that they're doing something completely different than that first wave of the Marvel universe, but it's still, even though it's different, it's good. So they're not just like repeating.
See, that's the thing. And I'm going to veer into Star Trek territory, not just because Subsector's here. But you know, I've been enjoying the new productions of Star Trek. I've been enjoying Discovery, started Strange New Worlds, and I've been enjoying, I think, as much as I like Strange New Worlds, a lot of it, it's not, it just feels too familiar to me. And this is probably the biggest problem with fandoms, right? Like, you want something that's new and that's fresh and that's clean and that's easy, but like to easy on the eyes, right? Fun to watch and modern. But Strange New Worlds is kind of feeling repetitive. Like, haven't we kind of seen this before? It's kind of formulaic. I'm like, eh. And I think there are Trek fans who want that, and I enjoy it, but it just feels to me, I'm like, we've kind of seen this before. And it's a fine line, right? There's a delicate balance, and maybe it's just taking a little longer for me to get into Strange New Worlds than Discovery. Discovery, I was in within 5 minutes. I'm like, dude, I am sold. Strange New Worlds is taking a lot to grow on me. I'm not sure if you're as much into Star Trek.
I enjoy it, especially as a kid. I'm a fan of the original series.
TOS, yeah.
But I'm way behind on everything. I have a huge list, so I've not caught up on all the modern Star Trek shows. But
yeah, I have lost I've lost a lot of my time too, with because you know I'm working, I'm streaming with family or Maker Deck. Like I've got to like figure out like I need to watch this show, I need to watch this movie. So my time has become even more limited. So I hear you there. Good morning, Warzala Woodworking. It is nice to see you again. We're speaking with Fixumdude, who is known in 3D printing community circles, the greater community of people who are as exuberant about 3D printing, such that they seek it out. They want to share that passion and interest with other people and revel in it alongside other people, fellow makers, if you will. And so Fixumdude is also a mod in this channel. He just celebrated a birthday, an all-around good guy, subject of an upcoming film called Extruded, the Fixumdude story. We're gonna make it happen, dude. We're gonna make and at the end, he gets recruited. Yeah, what?
Oh, I do love woodworking too. I've done a bunch of that in the past, but I haven't.
Wow.
3D printing is more fun because I can kind of do it at 2 a.m. and it's not loud and doesn't wake anybody up. And
well, if you're doing it right, but that's my problem. I like making it loud. I like getting that. I need the fan noise going. I need to know it's working. Not. That was me being facetious. Liz, and by the way, good morning, Bets. Liz has got a question for you. What is Fixumdude's background or education? What advice would he give to someone who wants to learn 3D printing and design? I mean, there's no wrong answer here. There's just a general like, hey, what's your feel for this?
Right. Well, I started off and I went to Longview High School with Matthew McConaughey. That's my brush with greatness. So we were there. He was a couple years younger than me. All right. But I started off in engineering, computer engineering, and then just struggle with the math and stuff. Like I can do math, but it was just that the advanced stuff was just wearing me out. But I was always taking art classes on the side. I've been drawing since I could hold a pencil.
Yeah.
And one day I was like, why am I killing myself in these engineering classes when I'm like breezing through these art classes as electives? And so this girl I was dating at the time was like, well, why don't you switch? There's nobody that says you have to be an engineer. So I was like, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. So I ended up transferring to a cheaper school. So I lost my scholarship from by 2/100ths of a point. And I was like, so I transferred to a state school and switched to advertising art. And it was a lot easier. It was a lot more my passion. So
you might then recommend is that you or me? Hang on, I'm getting weird interference right now. It's okay, we're good. This is the way, by the way, this is the way we've got Fixumdude piped in. I called him on the phone, and I've got the phone standing vertically underneath the microphone, so the speaker is going right up against the mic. Huh? How's that for a feat of engineering? You got to get creative. So Retro Maker, good morning. American Chris Hansen, good morning. Rick Shaw and Wexter, Also, thank you for joining this morning as our conversation with Fixumdude extrude. No, what's another 3D printing term I could use? Goes down layer by layer. The second layer. So that was the first layer, like how you kind of got into it.
Right.
What would you just someone asking, well, that's pretty cool. How could I? Where should I start?
Well, like I always tell everyone, I started in Tinkercad, like when we first started designing templates and stuff. And
Okay, so Tinkercad, yeah.
I'd messed with like kind of a program called TurboCAD, which is a lot like AutoCAD, just a cheaper version. Over the years, I just never could get it, and I couldn't really devote enough time to it. But once I started messing with Tinkercad and then Fusion 360, it just like clicked in my brain, that solid modeling. But we did a bunch of templates on Tinkercad. At the time, it was a lot harder to do like really precise type models in Tinkercad. But so it was a ton of model, print, scooch it over 2 millimeters, print again. But then we, because of the need for precision and with the free model that the Fusion had at the time, we were able to try it out and learn that you can do these really precise, down to hundreds of millimeter type models in Fusion. And then because we were saving so much money, I was able to talk our higher ups into getting a license for it. So we've been on Fusion for
nice
a long time now.
Well, I mean,
that's most of my kit cards and stuff in.
Oh, you did? Okay, so most of everything was done in Fusion, from what we can print. Right. Yeah, okay.
Some of the early flexi stuff, like the
like the monkey?
The monkey, maybe, I can't remember. The gorilla for sure, and the
tiger?
All the flat ones were done in Tinkercad.
Okay. I opened up Tinker. It's cool because I follow different people on Twitter, and then someone they said, oh, here's how you can do this, and I watched it, and now I've got a new thing that I can do in Tinkercad that I totally forgot about. How you can do letters. Like, oh, this would be great for Jedi's friends. Like, I can take everybody's letters, string them together, have them at different heights, and then print it out, and then give them like a little keychain or something, their name in a keychain or something. So Tinkercad is very. That is, I have zero experience, but that would be my assumption. It's very incredibly accessible.
It's amazing, and they keep adding stuff to it, and it's just. You could almost live there. Like I think I don't know how to pronounce it. Like Uni or something like that on YouTube does these like Eiffel Towers and just these phenomenal creations all in Tinkercad, and it's amazing. And they record it and you can see the process, and that really helps a lot.
That's incredible.
Watch them subtract is the kind of the hard part, I think, for a lot of people, is to use shape and subtract it from another shape to get the final one you want.
Yeah, that's definitely like beyond me. People, by the way, are making fun of me. I've got. Well, they're not making fun of me. Pink is saying I should have done a Discord call, or we should have done a Discord call. Fotis says, all these years Star Wars high tech thought you knew stuff. You need to get an aux cord. I'm like, no. You don't understand. We tried Discord first of all. Second, I'm like, let's just try a phone. And I'm a big believer. This is the thing. A lot of people, we've got a lot of tech, right? We deal with tech on a regular basis. But I'm a big believer in less is more. So I don't want to have all this equipment and wires and cables all over the place, and this connected to that, and that connected to this, and this on the internet, and that on the... Because, the more complex the system, the greater chance that you're going to have a point of failure. So I try to remove the points of failure. So I think, what do I need? What is the basic? What's the basic? The basic is, like on this phone call, I need to hear Fixumdude. Everyone else needs to hear Fixumdude, which means I need a speaker, right, in some way. And so I'm like, all right, well, let's try doing it by way of Discord. We had some issues with stability, like Fixumdude would drop out, and then I couldn't hear him. I'm like, hey, let's try just a regular old phone call. And then, all right, this is what I'm going to do. Boom, done. To this end, if I didn't say how I did it, no one would be the wiser. So that, to me, when it comes to, I don't know if this is the same thing with general methodology, but my bar for production is nobody complains. Like when, if I do something, if people say, oh, this is too dark or this is too loud, then I know I've got something off, right? I know I need to adjust it. But if nobody complains about it, I feel it was a success. That's always my
Say whatever works.
That's whatever works. Keep it simple, stupid. And I put the, well, no, my name's not Stu. I was gonna say I put the Stu in stupid. I put the PID in stupid. No, I'm trying. I was trying to. I'm so stupid. I can't even come up with a good. I'm that guy. I'm the dummy, which by the way is now an approved word on MakerDeck. You can now type dummy.
Thanks, Britt.
Yeah, Britt cleared the word dummy. We've been having fun with because there's certain terms that get used that are like, this is fine, this is not a big deal, because it's usually out of context. But you know, having filters in place sometimes is better than not having filters in place, which is probably my my biggest downfall is I have no filter. But that makes it, well, it makes it really smart, really good. It makes live streaming a good medium for me, because having no filter is good, because you keep things going, whatever's in your head. The problem is when y'all, I cannot have moderator chat on in the background when y'all are back channeling, and like I can't, because as soon as I look over there, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read what's on the screen, like you put a question mark in the teleprompter. But I don't have a teleprompter. I've run on teleprompters before, but
I don't know. I don't think I could do that.
It's, you know, I'd say it's a skill. You got used to it. I could fall back into it, like, you know, easily enough without even thinking. It's not as hard as you think. Just you know, as long as you're not deer in the headlights. But I've never had that problem. I've had the opposite problem. You gotta struggle to get me focused, like on any one thing, not the camera focusing on one thing or another. But I'm not, you know. Crap. Nothing happened. Nothing. I didn't drop my phone. What are you talking about? You still there, Fixumdude?
I'm here.
See, the problem being Italian doing this and used to moving your hands around a lot is that you whack things that aren't normally there. Luckily, the thing I whacked was not my my coffee. That would have been a slight mess. So, you know, what keeps you busy if you're not busy? Where does your head go to kind of unwind?
I'd like to watch media, so lots of, you know, Netflix, and I just, like I said, I have this huge list of movies and TV shows and even comics and books that I'm just, you know, gonna get to one of these days.
Right. Yeah,
But
one of
I
these
end up
days.
watching this Twitch stream almost every night, so that kind of
I'm sorry about that. You don't, and by the way, you don't. No one has to watch. I mean, the only thing I request is like just have MakerDeck on. Like it's fine. You don't have to watch me. You don't have to listen to me.
No, it's been fun. I've been like having a blast the last, I guess, little over a year. Found you early last year during the shutdown and all that stuff. So it's a good escape, and just to meet, you know, Liz and Krusty and Kurt Grosser and now Hollywood and Papa Bear, just everybody. Just I can't even name all the people. Big Jano. It's been just a blast. Kind of like finding your people.
You know, and I got to say that about at least the people that I've come across. It's been just as much fun. I mean, for me, certainly on this side of the camera, but just to feel that I belong to something greater than myself, whatever that is, however that's determined. And, you know, to be able to see people on, whether it's Twitch, Twitter, or beyond, is kind of exhilarating. I have not gone to a maker event, though. I've never done I haven't gone to one, really. Wait, I take that back. I did one. It wasn't really an event. They were building Prusas. This was 3, 4, 5 years ago. I had a friend want to organize this to get people into 3D printing. That's not the thing that pulled me in, though. I mean, I thought, oh, this looks clunky. I'm not interested. What am I ever going to use it for? Little did I know there were so many Star Wars models. Had someone told me, Chris, did you know you could print this Darth Vader? I'm like, what? Okay, I got to figure this out. It probably would have happened earlier. It really would have. I believe it would have been much like, you know, for you, it was not necessarily, oh, it's technology and this would be fun. It's like you were intending to use it to achieve, you know, it was a means to an end. not the end itself. And I've always viewed technology like that. And I guess in many ways I view 3D printing like that as well. It's not the hardware, it's what that hardware allows you to do.
Right. It's just a tool like anything else. The best tool to use is the one you know how to use, really.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know you. I know a flathead screwdriver. I know a Phillips. I know how to use those tools. If I was Pink, I'd know how to use a mallet, but I'm still working on my mallet skills.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. The mallet is great.
Whack, whack, whack. Big Jano says he found you from the 3DPN video, Printing Nerd video showcasing the large format kit card. Very glad I've gotten to meet and learn more about him over the last year. So there's some love cast your direction. Fixumdude.
Oh yeah, that giant TIE fighter was the kind of the thing that drew me over to Twitter. I forget how, but I was telling the other mods yesterday that I posted on Reddit. I kind of lived on Reddit for years, just was a big dig guy back in the day, but once they changed, I'm like, all right, I'll check out this Reddit this guy at work was talking about. So I kind of posted, memes and stuff there, and would, get a lot of my news there. But I would share my 3D models. I think the Millennium Falcon was first, and then I posted the TIE Fighter, and this guy named Funky Stew was like, I love this. I'm going to feature this in an upcoming video in a large format. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I started looking into who this Funky Stew was. And then I went in the back and I'm like, guys, I think that's the 3D printing nerd. And they're like, no way. So we waited like what seemed like forever for that video to come out. And then, once it came out, I forget how I got onto Twitter, but anyway, that was hilarious. And seeing him, print one of my models and so large, it was great.
So you know what you just outlined right there? You know what that was? That was your origin story. So now we got our main film, right? But then we have to have a prequel. So that's the prequel. You've just mapped out your prequel. Your origin story is right there. Dude, come on, this stuff writes itself. I think in terms of stories, but honestly, we probably relate to each other more by way of stories. How we make those various connections. Have you ever gone to any kind of a maker fair or any kind of a event like that?
No, I just found out about that. Murph was in Goshen like right before the pandemic, and then of course they shut down that year. But like my sister was born in Goshen, Indiana, so like I have family all over there, so I could probably go and stay for free. I still have cousins that live just a few miles down the road, so I'm like, I just find out about it, and then circumstances, have made it so that I haven't been able to go there yet. But it sounds like a blast. I really want to, and it'd be a chance to meet all of my idols and kind of hang out with family at the same time. So I really want to go to Murph at least.
I have to get more connected on Seattle's maker scene. I mean, I haven't gone to events in years, of course. Hello, the pandemic. But it's never been a priority, right? It was always like, oh, that's for somebody else, not necessarily for me. But I think that tune for me has changed. And even Liz has been leaning in. She's been, the little, she's the voice in my head, which is almost literal because like, it's funny. Like I wrap a stream, right? And like Krusty, sometimes the other night he texted like, okay, Liz calling in 3, 2, 1. And then like a second later, Liz calls. I'm like, hey, what's up? What did I do wrong now? But she's been pretty bullish about doing some kind of event. And now that we've got the Maker Deck project, which is as good of a project to kind of rally around, we've certainly seen the engagement on Discord increase in kind. Like, we had the Discord for years, but, not much was going on. We didn't really have a focus. But, I think that having done events before, I've just got to think through and do some research and ask questions to find out what has been missing. What kind of flavor can I add to an event as a producer? but it's good to know that these events do exist and have existed for some time. I remember what was it? Make had what they call it, Maker Faire. I don't know. I don't know if that's still going on. I thought it went away, but maybe Make went away.
Yeah, I think it did.
Okay, because I mean,
I can't believe there's not one in Texas, like Dallas or Austin or.
Well,
that would be really convenient.
They're so expensive to produce, and they're very challenging to coordinate. This is something I can tell you as an event producer. Like, it is easier to go to an event than it is to make one. Like, because you just, wow. All right, Jerry Switek is asking the question that's on everybody's mind. Everybody wants to know. How did Win, Lose, or Draw happen?
Well,
because I loved that show. It's possible I saw you contemporaneously.
Too. Yeah, that was back in the late 80s. But yeah, I was at Southern Methodist University at the time and doing the engineering thing. And they had tryouts. We had heard about this guy. You know, I came from a, you know, not a super well-off family, so money was always an issue. And we heard this guy went on they had tryouts for a Wheel of Fortune, and one of the students at SMU went and won like $25,000. So we're like, oh man. So there were flyers up in the Union or whatever about tryouts for Win, Lose, or Draw. And so we were like, we love Pictionary and all that stuff. So my whole group went and tried out in this big auditorium. So they'd call us down one at a time, and we draw on a chalkboard. And they give us a word, and you know, we were trying to be all exuberant and stuff, like we thought, or at least I was, try to act like I thought a game show contestant would act.
Can you explain to me, how does a game show contestant act? How does one act?
Oh, just a little more outgoing than I typically am. I'm kind of an introvert, so it was a little out of my wheelhouse. But they did like 2 rounds of like hundreds of people, and then they did callbacks for like a small thing later that night, and I got called back, so that was kind of exciting. And then so we went to like a smaller room, and they had little whiteboards, and so they'd call us up in pairs, and we we get a word, and we'd have to draw or guess. And so then at the end of the night, they had to pick. And so I was like, oh, maybe they were gonna do 2 alternates and then 2, like a guy and a girl to be contestants. So I was thinking, maybe I did good enough to be an alternate, at least I could get a free t-shirt or something. So they called the alternates, and I wasn't one of them, so I was kind of disappointed. But then they called the contestants, and it was they called me and this girl named Fonda. And so I was shocked that I got picked. So that was my first flight. We flew this huge plane out to Hollywood, and we shot the whole week in one day. It was like a college tournament. So we did first 3 days were like 2 teams against each other, and then the 3 winners of that day went to a Thursday, which is, like I said, all the same day. And so we and Georgia Tech won that day, and then Georgia Tech and SMU faced off I just wanted to get to the last day. Like I said, I was just focused on money at that point. So like, if you could get to the last day, it was just a matter of like a couple $100 between first place and second place, in the grand scheme of things. So, but it was a blast. We got to meet a lot of really cool people. Got to meet Bert Convey and Jeff McGregor and Judy Evans. So they were kind of big back in the 80s. So it was a lot of fun. My first real big adventure.
And that was, see what you've just outlined there. You've outlined if there's a live streaming series, that's the live streaming series. So we've got the first movie, we've got the prequel, and now we have a live streaming series of the win, lose, or so we take it from the beginning and and then all the way through. See, I'm telling you, the story writes itself. The story writes itself, and that video is on your YouTube channel. The win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, my mom and dad taped it, so it's pretty bad quality, and I had to take out all the 80s commercials, but it was fun. So I found that a while back, and I captured it before it disintegrated. So
that's good.
And we did a commercial too when we came back, but I don't have a copy of that.
Oh man,
for NBC
Yeah.
Channel 5 here in Dallas. So
That's wild. That's so cool. That is pretty awesome. I have finished my coffee, so I put your the coaster up against I leaned the coaster up against the printer there. So
that's where mine is.
Yeah, that's so that's I have the I have to reprint your coin. Like I said, when I had a clogged nozzle, I had filament that was causing an issue. It just did not come across. It did not, but I didn't have time. I was like, I wanted to print it live on MakerDeck, right? Because I figured it'd be fun to see, like, a whole bunch of Fixumdude things happening at the same time. So I waited on mine, and then had that problem. So K2 Design Lab said, if you missed this, you may not have. What I appreciate most, says K2 Design Lab, Fixumdude does amazing work and makes available for everyone. In the short time I've been around, he's a kind and thoughtful pillar of the community. Keep up the great work. I totally agree. Completely, utterly agree. And so, on behalf of everybody, Fixumdude, we appreciate what you've done, and I certainly appreciate the time that you've spent. Appreciate you as not just a moderator, but as someone who would hang out even not being a moderator, not having the sword. You're not a sword collector, so to speak.
Right. Oh yeah. But like, another responsibility.
Exactly. And and honestly, if I ever, and I say this to all the mods, like, don't ever prioritize me. Never. Do not prioritize me. For real, like, because it's just, I appreciate the time that everyone is able to spend, including this hour or so with you. I don't want to keep you too long because it is a Saturday, but any parting words before we do our weekly raid into MakerDeck?
Oh, great! You put me on the spot.
Just anything you'd want to say.
Said, win, lose, or draw, make money. No, I'm I'm just in it for the fun. So, like I said, if it ever becomes work for anybody, you just step back and take a look at why you're doing it. So, it's just, like I said, this whole thing is, for me, is just fun. I'm not really making any money on it or anything. It's nice when I do make a little bit. So, but it's just for the enjoyment. So just do it. That would be my only advice. Just, like I said, I started ordering parts and I had no clue what I was doing, and there's so many resources out there now for learning to model or learning to put the hardware together, or anything, fixing cars or whatever you enjoy doing. Just start, and just, even if you're bad, I've always said talent is just the ability to enjoy an activity enough to keep doing it even though you suck at it at first. So with enough practice, pretty much anybody can accomplish anything that doesn't require a certain physical attribute. But
I wasn't even gonna bring up Star Tots. Liz, a couple of people keep bringing him up. Pink and Liz. I wasn't gonna. I mean, I threw it out there, and I'm like, okay. I went a little too heavy, but I'm not gonna mention it. That's not me mentioning it, Fixumdude. It's not me.
They're not out of the question. I need to get better at sculpting. So I'm not saying never, but I just gotta
never know
to develop my skills to a point where that would be a possibility. So
you never know.
I'm not saying no, but just not right now.
I trust me. I
owe so many people so many things that I'm just trying to start to say no so I can catch up on the stuff I owe to Britt and everybody else out there.
Well, I'm glad again that you do what you do. It makes it easier for me to do what I do. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Genuine.
It's been a blast to hang out with all these awesome people.
Well, thank you for including me in that the word awesome, because usually, like, all the awesome people and you. Okay, well, I feel more comfortable. I'm like, okay, good. They're awesome. I'm just a body and a mouth. So thank you once again. We're gonna raid into MakerDeck, everybody. I have Fixumdude, of course. If you're not following him, he is on Twitter. You can catch him hanging out on various Twitch streams, including this one that's normally going to be streaming at 6 p.m. Mighty Bean, Star Tots, like Sith babies. It could be, and it's not an extension of Friday night. These types of conversations I've been enjoying doing on the weekend morning. One of the weekend mornings, if only to have conversations separate from the normal evening streams that I do. So I'm glad that Fixumdude took the time to sit down with me. He may be standing up. I don't know. I can't see. No one can see Fixumdude, so he's elusive. He may be a computer AI. We don't know. So follow Fixumdude, download his models, give him, upload your prints to printables, if you can and if you will. That helps. He gets his Prusa meter, right? You increment the Prusa meter with the points, correct? Something like that.
Yeah, like you get, if the model hits so many downloads or likes in a month, then you get a few Prusa meters.
So there you go. You can help Fixumdude as much as he's helped you. It's a really easy thing to do. You can also help us if you can, if you will. MakerDeck is going 24/7. It's still open. It's still streaming. I'll be finishing the rest of the model on there because we've got a couple slots that are currently open. But MakerDeck is currently at 73 of 75. We're this close. In order to be able to apply for partner, we just need 2 more people on average. Just 2 more people watching the MakerDeck stream. On average. 2 more. So we're like incrementally, slowly, like right there. So it would be an immense help if you watched MakerDeck. Take it with you. You have it going, man. It's a good thing to have going because you never know when inspiration is going to strike. So happy to be a part of it. Thanks again, Fixumdude. I hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good weekend, and we'll see you on the other side. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, you too.
For sure. All right, everyone. You can get your emotes ready. Although I'm guessing half of you are already on MakerDeck. So we will definitely see you over there. Ready? Okay. You can use your Maker D1 emote. You can use the hype emote from MakerDeck if you're a sub over there, because Fixumdude made all of the MakerDeck emotes. This Tuscan Raider, this is not an emote. Well, I guess it is. Pirillo Raid is this emote. Here we go. Tuscan raiding in 3, 2, 1. See everybody tonight, and of course on MakerDeck in between.